Friday.
Good morning.
Happy
Today
Friday.
is January the 31st of 2025. Oh my God, that means January is gone. 11 months left. Actually, 10.5 because I'll be gone the next 2 weeks of December. 10.5 months left. All right. Sounds really intimidating. How y'all doing?
Good.
That's good.
Been a long month.
It's been a long month. Yeah.
Long month? Really?
I think so.
I feel
It's like January never ends. It's just so long.
I just got to January 2 weeks ago.
I'm over it.
Me too, Taj.
Okay. All right, ladies, today we're going to talk about home remedies for low libido. Home remedies for low libido, which is so interesting to me that that's the topic and title for today. Because I just imagine that people are just like in their kitchen, like cooking up oysters and stuff. And those things may work, but since we are like sex therapists and mental health providers, I'm sure the conversation is going to go much, much, much differently. So, who wants to jump in first? If they had to say a home remedy, and you can go any way you want with this, what would be your home remedy for low libido? All right, who wants to go first?
I'll start
Uh-huh.
just because you brought up oysters. I love me some oysters. And so I just wanted to say, don't sleep on the aphrodisiacs now, the chocolates, asparagus, even though that one, is questionable because it kind of changes the way, we smell down there just a little bit. But the one remedy that goes along the line of consuming something that I found is a supplement called black and red maca. And so black maca root, I have heard, will increase libido in men, also increase their performance. And red maca will do the same for women. And it's a natural supplement. You can get it at any health food store. You can order it off Amazon, Prime 2-day shipping, and it'll be right there. Of course, I would never tell anyone to consume anything that their body cannot handle. So I would always take any supplement that you are recommended to your PCP, just to make sure it will work for your body. Mm-hmm. But I have only heard wonderful things about this supplement. So I wanted to start there to kick us off there.
Okay. All right. Amanda, what would you say?
I'll go. I find I find like acts of service can be a big aphrodisiac at home. I am the primary chef in my house. But if you cook me dinner or even just help me cook dinner, or we do an activity like a board game, or I don't know if you can see behind me, I'm one of those adult Lego people. Like I like to do Lego sets, to doing an activity or an act that your partner enjoys, or cooking together. That can be sexy, or even just cooking for each other can just take a weight off and free up some of your energy for some more exciting stuff.
Right. All right, Jessica Renard.
I think the first thing that came to mind was ice, like using ice in the bedroom, or using it as a sensation enhancer, or you can always find something to blindfold somebody with, and it's very surprising, and ice melting, and there's a lot of things that you could potentially do with ice. So that was the first thing that kind of came to my mind.
Okay. What came to my mind is exercise, just exercising your body. And so anytime, especially for females, that they can get in their body, be aware of their body, have some movement in your body, you're more willing to be in your body and have some movement in your body.
Yeah.
And so I would say exercise is the number one home remedy that I can think of, because when you're moving, it's science, right? An object at rest stays at rest. An object in movement, an object that's not how
in motion.
In motion stays in motion. Thank you. And so getting your body in motion and staying in motion is going to help increase. All right. What else would acts of service? That was a good one. Taj.
I have one. Laughter. And
Oh,
so there are so many wonderful games for couples to play. There are so many wonderful sex games for couples to play. And I think getting inside of that play aspect of our lives that we hide from because we're adults and we have things to do and bills to pay. But tapping back into the play and laughing with your partner will help you open up more, and you'll be, a bit more accessible, and you might just fall into having sex,
Your facial expressions on that one. But I think you're right. And so in bringing in intentional play, and I have several couples that has been part of their plan for them to get to having sex again, is to do have a board game night, which is us intentionally spending time with each other, paying attention to each other, right? In a way that we don't when we're watching TV. When we're watching TV, we're zoned out on the TV. When we're playing a game, oftentimes when people play games, they're sitting across from each other. They're talking to each other. They're interacting with each other. They're watching each other's moves. So I know what move to play next. And so there's this engagement with it. And so playing games, but being intentional with that time, that kind of non-sexual time, intention, just paying attention to somebody. And so I'm going to put both of those up there. Intentionality being a home remedy, and focus on your partner being a home remedy. Okay. All right. Who else?
Yeah, I've got a couple came to mind. Depending on your home situation, who you've got living with you, sometimes taking off of some clothes and just going about your business, close the curtains. Maybe we put on that pair of yoga pants your partner likes, or no pants, while you make dinner, whatever. Just be silly, engage in that play and be a little different. And you talked about touch, Natalie, a second ago. I think non-sexual touch can be a big aphrodisiac, especially for parents and folks that work a lot, who aren't in the same space as their partner. Some folks, it's hard to transition from that. I haven't touched you in 2 days. Even kiss goodbye. Snuggle up and watch a movie. Maybe it leads somewhere, maybe it doesn't, but at least you're touching each other and being in close contact, kind of how you said, Natalie, motion begets motion. I think touch begets touch. The more you do it, and especially the more you do it in a non-sexual way, I think it can pay way more dividends in the bedroom or on the couch or wherever sex finds you. And I think that's important, and we forget about that a lot, especially if we have kids or aging parents or jobs that are taking up a lot of our time.
Right. All the things, all the adult. All the things. Okay. All right. Jessica Renard, any other thoughts on home remedy?
Yeah, I think being very mindful of your routines and what that looks like. So if you work outside of the home or work inside of the home, how do you switch from work mode to partner mode or home mode? What do you need to do to kind of clear the slate and be present for your partner? And then if we need to switch from home mode to intimacy mode, what does that look like? Does that mean taking a shower? Does that mean putting on lotion? Does that mean styling your hair in a particular way or putting on a particular outfit or a lingerie? What does that look like? How does that make you feel? Because the more you feel sexy and desirable and like a sexual being, the more your partner is more likely to respond to that.
Yeah. All right. Anything else before anybody? I want to give a whole speech. Do y'all say anything you want to say before I start going? Okay, because when I hear this whole, I want a home remedy to increase my libido. Great. I hope you find it. I do hope you find this magic pill that's been hiding in your closet for the last 10 years. I do. On chance that you don't, I want you to get intentional. I don't want it to be this thing that like I magically make happen, but something that I'm cultivating in my life every day. So I'm cultivating my libido to be at a level that works for my relationship. I'm cultivating a lifestyle that creates us having these physical moments. I'm creating every day, we're doing a little something that's helping to build a deeper sense of intimacy between us and connectedness to us. And so I really want it to become part of the fabric of your life. And so many things I want us, I'm a fuss at all of America right now, all of us that want these better lives to start, and I'm talking to myself, like with health and food and nutrition and how do I make this part of my everyday life? So not just the magic pill, but what do I need to start doing differently in my lifestyle? And so if it's just I need to walk to the mailbox in between my sessions to get a little bit more movement into my life, how can I start doing that and doing that consistently? And that same walk to the mailbox to help me get more movement is also probably something that you can add to your life to increase your libido. Okay, like what are the small things that you can do every day so you're creating a life that works for you every day, that there's not this like, well, how do I make this happen magically in my life this one time? No, what am I doing and what do I need to layer my life with so that like we're always ready, we're always doing this, that the almost that analogy of like the kindling in the fire. Like there's always a low fire burning, and when we need to crank it up, we can because we do everything to keep a fire in the fire in the fireplace burning all day long. All right, jump in, Jessica.
Yeah. So I think what's also really important is because all of these things are things that we're talking about adding. I think it's also important to realize, do you have your fireplace bricked up? What do you need to take away in order to get your fire going? Like, is it currently smothered? So like if you are regularly practicing intimacy in your bedroom, do you have child's toys? Do you have photos of you being a mother on your wall? Those are not necessarily indicators that you're a sexual person, or a father or whatever. So being very mindful of what needs to be removed.
Yeah.
And that could be pressure. That could be practices. That could be what I'm eating. Like if we are aware of something that is very heavy or very makes us feel gross, like maybe we really enjoy it, but we don't like feel super sexual afterwards. Like that is mindful of like, don't eat that right before you're supposed to have intimate time because you're going to feel gross.
Right.
So like there are things that you can take off in order to get there as much as things that you can add on.
Okay, I'm going to go after a big one. The TV and electronic devices. I have had so many sessions where one adult is they're in the bed, we're in the bedroom, we've made it to the bed, but one person is engaged in TV, and so the other person just there's no way to become intimate because that TV is there, or one person's on their device playing games or doing whatever they're doing on their device. And so that would be a huge thing to take away. Matter of fact, if y'all just took that away, like I'm pretty sure it's been a while. Amanda, we might have you research this. I'm pretty sure there was a research study out there. I think that said like couples that don't have TVs in the bedroom have more sex.
I think that's true.
Right.
I would love to do some research into that. I mean, my partner and I, for 20 years, we've never had a TV in our bedroom because it's a distraction. I mean, we all have smart devices now, iPad, phone. But I find it's really helpful to set it on like an automatic do not disturb for us. Like I set mine, I think, at 9:45. Now I have it if my kids call me or a relative calls me, that still comes through. But it just shutting off automatically. Of course, you can sign back on if you want. Has been really helpful getting that distraction out. Because when we talk, talking more or being more, even just talking, that can open that intimacy up. But we're so screen addicted. So yes, I'm with you.
Definitely so. I almost want to challenge everybody, like just. And if the phones, like once we go in the bedroom, maybe there's a table by the bedroom door if you want to, where the phones are over here and not so close to us on our nightstands in our beds. And I'm guilty of it too. I've been trying very hard lately to not sleep with my phone because I'm scared it's gonna like give me cancer in the middle of the night. But but I really want to get into the habit of like my phone being far away from me. So when I wake up, I don't like pick it up and then look at it, and then next thing is 2 hours later, and I'm on American Idol on YouTube. I just gotta stop. Okay, Jessica Renard, you were raising your hand.
Yeah, again, I always play devil's advocate for a lot of these. Like, I think if you really need a television or you need a phone, there's ways to use those screens for intimacy.
Ooh.
If we're looking at pornography, if we're using a timer to set for different activities, because sometimes people feel very nervous or like, how much time is this going to take? Like, I have several clients that are like, I don't want to engage in something and then like 3 hours go away. Like, I want to be very mindful of the time that I'm investing in this. I was like, okay, set a timer for 30 minutes. We all carry these computers in our pocket. Like, it does a variety of things. Oftentimes, sometimes with my clients, if they're having a lot of anxiety or apprehensive, put a breathing video or calming something on the television or on your phone to where you can kind of tune into that and pay attention to that if the sensations are overwhelming or if you're feeling panicked, which could happen if you've had previous sexual assault in your past, or there are certain things that are triggering some of that fight flight reaction, that you can use it to calm down and kind of regulate yourself as well.
Oh, I love that.
What a great reminder, Jessica. I didn't even consider, all the things we can do with our phones. And to piggyback on that, if you have an Alexa device, which doesn't have a screen, those are great for, we use this at my house for all sorts of stuff, but setting timers, calming music, I think you can even say like, Alexa, like play sexy music, and it'll be, like that, the or whatever. But yeah, you're right. Like it can be a distraction for a lot of folks, but it can also be a tool.
Yeah.
So I appreciate your devil's advocacy there. Like,
I know.
you're definitely
I
right.
love it. Oh, I love it for so many different reasons, because there are so many different personalities and different ways to work, and there is no one right way up the mountain. If y'all listen to me long enough, I promise I feel like I say that every day because I really want people to know there is no one right way up the mountain. And so, as opposed to looking for a home remedy, look for what will work for you. Like, just kind of take a step back and see how I can get 1% better in something that's going to increase to us having more sex. And I'm assuming if you want an increased libido, it was so that you can have more sex in your relationship. And so get intentional about that and figure out what's going to work for you. And knowing what works for you may not work for somebody else, and that's just the beautiful thing about being alive today, is that we can do whatever we need to do our way. So, okay, go Jessica.
Yeah, I just had a caution for being aware of certain household items that are not intended for intimacy. Like, there are a lot of things that people will use, and there's a fantastic like EMT creator that is like, do not put this in an orifice. Don't do it. And so I think it's just being very aware and intelligent. There are lots of creative things that you can use around your home, and there are things that are absolutely should not be used. Like, I heard a horror story of a child looking for stimulation, used a screwdriver up their butt. And it's like, no, that is a really good way to have lots of medical problems. So, like, we need to talk about our children because they're also going to be looking for pleasure items, regardless of whether or not we want to address that fact. That is a thing. And so we need to have access for safe things and not unsafe things. And the same for humans. Like, if we have certain ice molds that can be used in particular places, we also need to be aware of if the ice shatters, that can cause problems, or if glass shatters or porcelain shatters. Like, we don't want some of those things inside our body. Also, being very aware of candles and wax melting temperatures, very wildly. So, like, wax temperatures that are specifically used on the body are not meant to burn skin. And so, like, you may have some waxes that that have a higher melting temperature. So if you just like start experimenting and pour that on somebody's skin, that could end up in third-degree burns. So like just be very aware of getting too creative. Like we want you to be creative, but like let's be safe.
Be safe. That's a good one. Okay. All right. What else, lady? Okay. Let's do takeaways from today. All right. So what do you guys want people to take away from today? All right, Taj, we'll start with you.
I was going to think about a nice fancy takeaway, put a bow on it. But okay. Okay, now I would say that a nice takeaway is if you are experiencing low libido, you are not alone. Many people experience this. So don't feel isolated. Don't feel like something's wrong with you. As you saw in our video, there are a myriad of ways in which we can rectify a low libido at home. And so if you are experiencing this and you feel stuck, like that you're in a rut, I would just, think about opening yourself up to a new form of your sexuality, experiencing something new. We use the term spicing things up for a reason. Spice it up. Spice it up. So just consider being open to it, being open to all of the numerous remedies, because the sex life you're looking for is just over your discomfort. So that's my take.
All right, we'll go around my screen. Amanda, takeaways from today.
All right. I think that something to remember and a takeaway, we've given all these suggestions, and remember, like, other than maybe a supplement, like none of our suggestions cost any money. And I know oftentimes when life is hard, right? And when we think about increasing intimacy, we might think, oh my gosh, I need to buy a bunch of books or toys or massage candle, the wax massage candles. And honestly, like, look around your home. It doesn't have to cost a lot. It doesn't take a big commitment. And these like little incremental steps build big rewards. So just give it a try. Like, don't let cost or time barriers get in the way. Like, there's time and space for everybody to do little things here and there.
Definitely so. All right, Jessica Renard. You're on mute.
Yeah, that was very similar to what I was thinking, in that a lot of times people think whenever they need to do something or start something, you need to buy a whole bunch of stuff. And like, that is capitalism, friends. Resist capitalism. You do not need to buy the things. And so just really understanding, and it could be as simple as if you predominantly had sex in one room, go to a different room, try it in the kitchen, see what you think. Like, the world is your oyster. The backyard is your oyster. Make sure that you're aware of privacy fences and exposure to small children. Like you can do things. Again, just being aware of your surroundings and understanding the risks involved in what you're doing. But there's a lot of ways to enjoy being an adult. And this is part of it. And so like take the joy where you can.
I like that. All right. My last thing is, I feel like this is a nice book title if I ever would sit down and write a book, but cultivating a lifestyle of high libido, and not even high libido, a lifestyle of consistent libido, a lifestyle of healthy libido, a lifestyle of a meet in the middle libido, but cultivating it as a lifestyle. So figuring out what needs to happen and happen consistently for you to have the lifestyle. And so, because I'm trying so desperately to change my food right now and eating, but it really all hinges on me going to the grocery store on the weekend. And that one thing either makes me or breaks me for the next week. One thing. And so there's probably one thing or two things that you can do in your life that will help you cultivate this lifestyle of having, I'm going to call it a meet in the middle libido, because I always want couples negotiating of the meet in the middle. Because in most couples, we're going to have a high sex person and a low sex person. And I want you guys working in partnership to come together for what works for this particular relationship. This relationship, I understand it could have been completely different than your last relationship, but the one that you're in now, negotiating for that. So a meet in the middle libido. And so what is one thing you can cultivate and make sure happens? And with this one thing happens, then that triggers everything else for you to have this lifestyle of perfect libido, level libido, lifestyle of a level libido. So now I'm just playing with words, but that is my hope for you. That is not this thing that you're chasing, but this thing that you're constantly cultivating. So that's it for today. That brings us to our time. So thank you, ladies. I always appreciate y'all spending time with me, and y'all have a great day. All right, bye
Hi,
bye.
everybody.